Hi, this is Dr. Dan Purser, danpursermd.com. Finally, I'm putting out my Designing Nutrigenomics to Prevent Dementia Caused by Genetic Errors PowerPoint that I've created in video. I created this as I was asked to speak for a major physician conference in June in Orlando. That's been canceled. I was supposed to speak to 10,000 doctors about this. We've designed a number of other products for various companies, for our own product line, some of which we have patents on, some of which are unique in the marketplace, some of which we're pursuing FDA approval for new drug indications. I'll discuss as we go through this. So this is a serious PowerPoint on preventing dementia caused by genetic errors. Can it be done? I say yes now. We have the data, we have the products, we have the supplements, we have the ability and the knowledge to dramatically reduce your risk for these genetic errors causing dementia. So let's dig into this. This covers at least 99% of dementia arises from certain genetic errors. So we're going to cover those and discuss those. They're common errors, and there are more than 108 rare ones that are not addressed in this talk. So it's not completely comprehensive. I didn't want to get into all the 108 really rare ones, or who knows how many really, but we know there's at least 108. So we are talking about the ones that are the most common that cause 99% of dementia, genetic-based dementia out there. Of course, there are other causes of dementia, from toxicity issues, heavy metal issues, drug overdose issues, brain damage issues, hormonal issues, things like that. So, but we can delve into these genetic ones, which are the most common. Late onset Alzheimer's disease, or LOAD, and early onset Alzheimer's disease, called EOAD, are almost all caused by specific genetic errors. APOE4 error, or SNP, means a single nucleotide protease. APOE2 offsets it. It causes up to 80% of LOAD, or late onset Alzheimer's disease. APOE4 is very common, especially in Northern Europeans, and that's why we're seeing such a big surge of it here in the U.S., causing dementia. APOE2, which also can be somewhat harmful, but it offsets the APOE4. So the genetic panel I designed, I'll show you later in this PowerPoint, they conflict each other and hold each other off, kind of. So if you have APOE2, we test for that too, then the APOE4 isn't as bad. APOE4 error, or SNP, when you have two of them, you're homozygous, it increases your risk for dementia by 14-fold. So anything you can do to reduce that is very helpful. APP SNP causes early onset Alzheimer's disease. PSN1, PSN2 SNPs cause early onset Alzheimer's disease. Now the next bunch of SNPs, the GSTM1, GSTP1, GSTL1 SNPs, they all cause reduced glutathione production, or GSH deficiency, or recycling inability with your glutathione, which worsens almost all these dementia genetic errors. So they're critical to test for too. PLD3 SNP causes late onset Alzheimer's disease. Plus, like I said, hundreds more that are quite rare. So this is an epidemic, or becoming an epidemic. I know we're right in the middle of epidemic as I record this, I don't know if it's a true epidemic. We haven't figured it out yet, but this is recorded in late May of 2020. So we don't necessarily have all the data on everything with this epidemic, but same with Alzheimer's disease. We have a lot more information than we used to have. Alzheimer's disease afflicts over 5 million people in the United States, so it's about 1.5% of the population, and it's supposed to increase to 13.8 million by 2050. Wow. The cost per care of patients with Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, this was back in 2015, was $226 billion. $226 billion. Wow. It should be $1 trillion by 2050, unless we can figure out ways to prevent it. That's what you're interested in. That's what I'm interested in. I also have APOE4, and I'm 60 years old, so I definitely don't want to be facing that demon. So there's a number of things I'm doing that are backed by the literature, and I'll show you these as we go through here. All these preventions are well researched and peer reviewed. We need help from higher power on these preventions. And I think Baby Yoda on the Sistine Chapel, okay, not Baby Yoda, the child on the Sistine Chapel may give us a little bit of an idea. And here he is receiving fonts of wisdom and blessings from Pikachu, who of course used to carry all the vials of wisdom in the world, and now he's giving it over to the child. So when someone tells me they don't understand my Baby Yoda obsession, I get that look on my face. So these are the Alzheimer's polymorphisms or genetic errors that can cause dementia, or that are associated with an increased risk of dementia. Just because you have these, though, doesn't mean you're actually going to show the phenotype. Doesn't mean you're actually going to show dementia. It just means you're at a much, much higher risk for dementia. So you want to do everything you can to prevent these things. That was me in 5th grade, looking forward to a great and bright future and opportunity. And that was me about the time I was getting ready to go to medical school, wondering where it all went wrong. So this is your first day at work, especially after the coronavirus scare, and this is 1 year in your company after that. Okay, ApoE4, Apolipoprotein E4, most common form of late onset Alzheimer's disease. 68% of Alzheimer's disease patients carry ApoE4, and all, like I said earlier, all ApoE forms are toxic. So if you have an ApoE form error that's been passed down, these are genetic errors that have been passed down through the generations to you. ApoE4, when it's normal, won't hurt you, but when you have the ApoE4 genetic error, it's very harmful. ApoE2, like I said earlier, offsets ApoE4. ApoE4 protein is synthesized primarily in the liver and also in the brain. Major role in the brain is related to lipid transport and cholesterol homeostasis. Reduced glutathione prevents bad cholesterol formation or plaque formation. We know this from several NIH studies. We know this from a lot of research on why some people with ApoE4 don't get dementia, because they have high levels of glutathione. The pathological, and that's naturally high levels of glutathione, because they don't have a GSTM1 or GST01 or GSTP1 or 2 or 3 error. The pathological effects of ApoE4 are related to lipid metabolism. The NIH found out several years ago in research that glutathione prevents plaque formation. High levels of glutathione, you can't make plaque if your glutathione level is high. A glutathione as transferase error, or SNP, is associated with ApoE4 dementia if you have the ApoE4 error too. Logistic regression showed a novel statistically significant association of the major allele GST01 with the pre-stage load. So we check for this in our genetic testing we do with this. So the first point of attack, you're going to see a lot of these, is give a validated reduced glutathione. There's only one on the marketplace. It's one we developed and received a patent for, and it's one that we have, and we're actually creating a biotech pharmaceutical company here in Utah. So dose of the glutathione is 10 to 30 sublingual squirts per day, and then don't eat or drink for 30 minutes thereafter. It's really tart and tangy. I'll warn you about that. Trying to mask the flavor of glutathione is really difficult, but it helps that ours is not oxidized like most of the garbage ones out there are. Well, all the ones. As a matter of fact, all of them are, except for ours, to be truthful. One full dose, 17 squirts, contains 550 milligrams of glutathione, the maximum possible. U.S. patent number is listed, awarded because we were the only one to ever validate, meaning we're the only glutathione that's ever shown that we work. This is the only efficacious, validated, absorbable, reduced, and shelf-stable glutathione in the marketplace. Those are critical words. It's actually effective. It's validated, meaning we've proven it's effective, and we'll prove more and more and more. And it's reduced, it's absorbable, and it's shelf-stable. Reduced is critical. You don't want to use oxide glutathione. Developed for fibromyalgia study that we were going to do 5 or 6 years ago. We're starting a biotech here in Utah around it. Neither I nor it claims to treat or cure any symptoms or diseases. It's not FDA approved. That helps. If you want, you can buy the supplement version at physiciandesigned.com. ApoE4, Apolipoprotein E4, pyrroloquinone, quinone, or PQQ, prevented aggregation and fibrillation of the alpha-beta lipid in that situation. PQQ passes the blood-brain barrier, prevents APP error from forming fibrils too. 20 milligrams of bio or nano PQQ has a much better therapy curve than the Chinese PQQ, which is pretty much garbage. You want the natural or bio PQQ. Must be taken with the equivalent of 200 milligrams of nano ubiquinol. That gives even a better curve too. Causes biogenesis. This is critical. This has been FDA validated, of neuromitochondrial, which is incredible. Causes regrowth of brain neurons. 30 plus FDA validated studies to support that. And improves memory 30% after 6 weeks. Do you hear what I'm saying? This is one of the most amazing products on the market today. It so happens that my company has the license for this. It's not the reason I'm saying all this. The reason I'm saying all this is because it's true. 30 plus FDA validated studies to support it. Mitsubishi put a lot of money behind this product. Stops the advancement or worsening in most forms of dementia. Again, the FDA said that and approved that. They didn't say it, but they approved articles that they validated articles around it that have said that. Improves most forms of dementia, especially APOE E4. Only one in the marketplace that has these validations, and Mitsubishi, a Japanese company, paid for it. It's a Japanese all-natural product, and it regrows neurons, regrows mitochondria in the neurons, and improves memory 30% after 6 weeks. Second point of attack, 20 milligrams of bio-PQQ and 200 milligrams of nano-ubiquinol taken every day will do all these things for you. ApoE E4, Apolipoprotein E4. There's a growing body of evidence which has demonstrated that lithium's GSK3 beta inhibitory effect prevents tau phosphorylation in mouse models of tauopathies. So the third point would be lithium orotate microdose. 5 to 10 milligrams a day helps PQQ. You can probably do 5 milligrams a day. I like Designs for Health. It's a great company. We've designed some products for them. They validate everything they can, or they use peer-reviewed studies to support what they've done. They have a product called Lithium Synergy, and we'll link it on our danpursermd.com and Physician Design website, so you can go there and order it. And that's out of the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease in 2019. Lithium as a treatment for Alzheimer's disease. This is the systems pharmacology perspective, and that's on PubMed. You can go look that up. There's the link for it. So more ApoE E4 information. DHA, not DHEA. That's critical to understand. Has been shown to prevent Alzheimer's disease with ApoE E4 errors. The blood-brain barrier blocks absorption of DHA, but DHA in phospholipid form, fish roe, krill oil, passes the blood-brain barrier and works to prevent Alzheimer's disease. Again, reduced glutathione would help this DHA work better, of course. Eat salmon, fish roe daily. 75% is phospholipid DHA. Of course, that's a really expensive habit, and where are you going to get salmon, fish roe consistently? Krill oil, though, is the best easy option. It contains 35% or more of DHA in phospholipid form. Daily dose must contain at least 600 milligrams of phospholipid DHA per day. There's studies that have shown that that's the minimum dose to get the validation to prevent the ApoE E4 dementia. Use a krill oil, and it must also have at least 2 milligrams or 2,000 micrograms of astaxanthin per serving. Fourth point, phospholipid krill oil supplement. I'll talk to you later. There's only one on the market that really optimizes all these actions, all these requirements in these studies, and it's one that we've searched for, we've licensed it and all that. We have it as a product on our website, and it's the one I take every day. I take 2 a day of them, and it equals 754 milligrams of phospholipid DHA a day, and 24 milligrams of astaxanthin per day. It's that good. There's none even close to it. This is one we had developed. Its dose is 2 per day, 2 capsules per day. It contains 700. 2 of them contain 750 milligrams, or 754 milligrams to be exact, of DHA krill, and 2 contain 24 milligrams astaxanthin. This stuff is overkill, but it's the best krill oil I've ever seen. And this is the most efficacious and concentrated DHA krill on the market. I think it's number one. It meets the requirement of DHA krill in dementia prevention, and is the best of the three there are three that kind of do out there. This has been one of them. I sourced it to prevent mine and my wife's APOE4 dementia, and I think it's the best. Neither I nor it claims to treat or cure any symptoms or diseases or prevent anything, and it's not FDA approved. We haven't done any long-term studies yet. No one has, though there are animal models that have been done. If you choose it, you can buy it at physiciandesign.com. ApoE4 again. TRANS-RESVERATROL can significantly increase SIRT3 activity, which in turn prevents amyloid beta formation in ApoE4. Remember, that's the phosphorylation, lipid phosphorylation problem that occurs. SIRT3 protects neurons against oligoamyloid beta 42 induced hypometabolism in human Apolipoprotein E4, ApoE4 transgenic mice. And it must be a transveratral in at least 500 milligrams a day. Transveratral increases expression of SIRT1, SIRT2, and SIRT3, which is really important. So the fifth point of attack, 500 milligrams of transveratral daily. Quercetin, again on ApoE4, quercetin can significantly increase ApoE4 levels by inhibiting ApoE4 degradation in immortalized astrocytes. Oral administration of quercetin significantly increased brain ApoE and reduced insoluble A beta levels in the cortex of 5X FAD amyloid model mice. That's important because you want to reduce the A beta levels. That's what gets in there and clogs up the brain and gets phosphorylated and blocks your neurons and kills your neurons. Neuroprotection by quercetin has been reported in several in vitro studies. They're not in vivo, they're in vitro. Protects neurons from oxidative damage while reducing lipid peroxidation. Like I said, it fights the A beta levels, in addition to its antioxidant properties. Inhibits the fibril formation of amyloid beta proteins, that's the A beta, counteracting cell lysis and inflammatory cascade pathways. They're also finding quercetin helps with the coronavirus and prevents the cytokine cascades and the inflammatory cascade pathways, as does reduced glutathione. 6 point of attack, give 200 milligrams of quercetin daily. Well, I've combined these two. Oh, let's look at this really quick. Apolipoprotein E, and the ApoE4 in females definitely causes the most dementia. And you can peruse this data here on your own time. People carry the genes ApoE4 tend to develop Alzheimer's at a younger age than those with 2 copies of ApoE3. So the ApoE4 runs in mine and my wife's family. APP, amyloid precursor protein, leads to an increased amount of amyloid beta peptide. Amyloid beta peptide is likely involved in the ability of neurons to change and adapt over time. That's plasticity. Lack thereof does the opposite. Amyloid beta peptide, or A beta, is generated by cleavage of the amyloid precursor protein, APP, and by beta and gamma secretases. This information is associated with or caused by oxidative stress. Here we go again. Both Alzheimer's disease and mild cognitive impairment, also called MCI, have decreased antioxidant enzymes, making the brain more vulnerable to A beta-induced toxic effects. GSH levels are decreased in Alzheimer's disease, and with age 7, decrease in mild cognitive impairment, precursor to AD. So you need to start these kids when they have these genetic errors on some of this early. The body's trying to fight the APP at this point, even by age 7. Recent reports demonstrated peripheral serum levels of mild cognitive impairment in Alzheimer's disease patients have significantly decreased GPX and SOD activity, so glutathione and SOD, superoxide dismutase activity. So the first point of attack with these patients who have APP is to use a validated, absorbable, reduced, stable glutathione, 500 plus milligrams per day. APP, amyloid precursor protein. Resveratrol decreases the amyloidogenic cleavage of the amyloid precursor protein, enhances clearance of amyloid beta peptides, and reduces A beta aggregation. Second point, TRANS-RESVERATROL 200 milligrams per day. APP, amyloid precursor protein. Mutations in the APP gene or errors in the APP gene lead to an increased amount of the amyloid beta peptide. When these protein fragments are released from the cell, they can form clumps of amyloid plaques. That's the plaques that's noticeable on MRIs when you have these MRIs for Alzheimer's disease, at least some forms of it. A main component of the amyloid plaques is the amyloid beta peptide, A beta, generated by the proteolytic cleavage of the amyloid precursor protein, the APP, by beta and gamma secretases. A beta exists in many forms, such as soluble, aggregated, oligomeric, protofibrillar, and fibrillar forms. A number of studies have demonstrated that oligomeric form of A beta is highly toxic and associated with oxidative stress, meaning lack of glutathione or lack of SOD would increase your risk for forming the A beta peptides. Quercetin is a flavonoid found in fruits and vegetables long term. 12 months. Oral treatment with quercetin has significant effects on beta amyloidosis reduction and tends to decrease tauopathy in the hippocampus and amygdala of mice. Third point of attack, give 200 milligrams of quercetin orally daily. This is one we developed for this project. The dose is 1 per day. It's a combination of TRANS-RESVERATROL and quercetin. This is the most efficacious and concentrated TRANS-RESVERATROL quercetin in the marketplace. It's really a good product. It contains 200 milligrams of TRANS-RESVERATROL and 200 milligrams of quercetin. It meets requirements for dementia prevention in how much resveratrol and quercetin's in there. It's the only one, though. I sourced it to prevent mine and my wife's APOE4 dementia, like I've done a lot of this stuff. It does not claim to treat or cure, neither do I, any symptoms or diseases of dementia or whatever, and it's not FDA approved. There are animal models, like I said earlier, that show the benefit of trying this product, but we haven't studied it in humans. So if you want, you can buy it at physiciandesign.com. PCEN1 and PCEN2. Presenilin-1 and presenilin-2 are protein-coding gene errors associated with early onset Alzheimer's disease. The PCN1 gene encodes presenilin-1, which forms the catalytic component of gamma secretase. Gamma secretase is responsible for proteolytic cleavage of amyloid precursor protein APP, but not if it's not there. It won't be able to do its job. If the genetic error is there, it won't be there. The expression of SIRT1 was significantly lower in the brains of APP PCN1 mice or neurons exposed to the A beta oligopeptides. In these same systems, increased numbers of senile plaques and a high level of oxidative stress were apparent. These findings indicate that SIRT1 may be neuroprotective. Prophylactic melatonin significantly reduces Alzheimer's neuropathology and associated cognitive defects and deficits, independent of antioxidant pathways in PCN1 mice. Vitamin C deficiency is also really critical in the brain, and if they have a deficiency, it'll impair cognition, increase amyloid accumulation, deposition, and oxidative stress. The GSH to GSSG ratio falls right before the onset of amyloid plaques, thus preceding amyloid plaque appearance. So guess what? You want to take a good SIRT activator as first point of attack, melatonin at night to help sleep. The third point of attack could be validated absorbable or reduced stable glutathione. And the fourth point is vitamin C. PLD3V232M is associated with Alzheimer's disease risks in overall sample sets. PLD3 loss impairs the function of the lysozyme and may render neurons more susceptible to accumulation of amyloid beta, leaving one to believe bio-PQQ could help also. Appears to be not an autophagy gene, not clearly understood, but again appears high levels of GSMH may help. Reduces inflammation, improves autophagy by macrophages. First point, use the VARS glutathione. Second point, use the bio-PQQ and nanoubiquinol. GSTP1, GSTM1, GSTO1 I've already discussed. These errors impair GSH or reduce glutathione production or redox cycling. The glutathione must constantly go through a redox cycling, meaning It's oxidized, it's cleaned out, it's oxidized, it's cleaned up, it's oxidized, it's cleaned out. It's just kind of going a million times a minute to that process. GST01 especially affects ApoE4, critical in preventing dementia and Alzheimer's. There's only a couple versions of glutathione in the U.S. or world that have been validated. One took 6 months, so it's an oral powder, and it just doesn't do the job that you need if it works at all. The product must be validated. Only 2 have ever been one of, okay, we've already been through all this. It must be absorbable, reduced, stable. So use of ours glutathione that we make. Glutathione in Alzheimer's disease, glutathione level is altered. Well, it's really decreased in lymphoblasts from patients with familiar Alzheimer's disease. So this is the genetic testing we designed to help with determining what forms of dementia you could have. Let's look at one test result. By now you probably need some coffee or maybe Diet Coke or something. You can go grab one and maybe pause it right here. If not, we can continue on. This is hilarious. Anyway, now you know why I love the child. So he's a Disney princess. Maybe it's not a he, maybe it's a she. We don't know. Okay, this is my genetic test for dementia. And this was on a young lady. It's simple. You just swab inside each cheek 30 seconds each, put it in the container and ship it, put it in the mailer, and it goes down to Austin where it's run by my friends there at GX Science, and we'll get the data back. Here's the data we get. And as you can see, she has ApoE4, she's homozygous, which is really bad. She doesn't have, further down you can see the PCN1, PCN2, PLD3, all negative. They're all normal. ApoE2 is below that, and it's -2, so it doesn't offset. She also has a GST01 error, so she doesn't make enough glutathione. GST01 has a lot to do with dementia and ApoE4. So she's at really high risk. And these are what I suggested for it. If you notice, the physician-designed bars glutathione, it really comes in 2 boxes, but whatever. I marked them both. Physician-designed brain resveratrol quercetin, physician-designed bio-PQQ nano-ubiquinol, and physician-designed brain krill oil, and lithium synergy, and melatonin, and liposomal vitamin C she needs. And for the GST01, the glutathione, which you already marked above. Also to the right of that, you see the Cardio 147. That's from my preventive medicine textbook I wrote. That's from the Paffenbarger studies, health care professional studies at Harvard, where you smash them all together. It comes out, we call it 147. It's 1 hour a day, 4 miles an hour, 7 days a week. And you should also, studies have shown that weightlifting 3 days a week helps prevent dementia. And her GSTP1 is negative. So highly recommended therapeutics. She pretty much gets all of them. And lifestyle recommendations too. Oh, she didn't need the NAD+GARLIC+GLUTATHIONE, the vitamin E from Designs for Health. And we'll have links for all these up on my danpercermd.com website and the Physician Design website too. And lifestyle recommendations, cardio and weightlifting. Currently, we're out of stock on the bio-PQQ nano-ubiquinol, so we'll have links for Amazon so you can buy the bio-PQQ from Doctor's Best and from Qunol. It'll be the red label Qunol you need. We'll mark that too for you. And this is the gene information key for ApoE4. She has the C and C variant twice. So, and this talks about all these errors, what information is known. This tells you the testing methodology and all that's done by. And more information on SNP references. That's what you'll see every time you get one of these results. So now we're going to discuss the nutrigenomics, supplements that prevent and why. So there's a lot of data lately, a lot of articles, not data, that say antioxidants have failed. This one came out in 2015, and they claim that flavonoids might improve cardiovascular function despite bioavailability that is not sufficiently high to directly influence antioxidant capacity. No one's developed antioxidants that really work. antioxidants, again, have failed in clinical trials. And why have they failed? They say most antioxidants therapies have been tested were not chosen because they were proved to be the best antioxidants, but rather because of their easy availability, such as vitamin E. Trials have not lasted long enough. It may be impossible to show the benefits of antioxidant therapy for several years if the therapy is trying to reverse the results of several decades of oxidative stress. I think that's an interesting approach. I think they're wrong. I'll give them this. They're probably partially right, but I think that antioxidants themselves have been mishandled. Our patents prove that the antioxidants have been mishandled from the beginning. And you have to honor the antioxidant and the way in which it works, and that's not being done. We found that out with glutathione. We found that out with superoxide dismutase, and we're going to shake the world with what we've discovered. Antioxidants have failed, more of it. Antioxidants may not ward off dementia after all. Antioxidant supplements may not help ward off dementia. They're using a daily vitamin E supplement. Really, yeah, may help a little. As we'll see in some information here in a second. To what research were they referring when they chose vitamin E? The age of super antioxidants is here. That's my argument. That's it. I'm going to stand by it. They're finally here, and everyone's going to be shocked by what all they do. Let me start to convince you. Glutathione first, knowing if yours is any good, must be in reduced form to be effective. Oxidized glutathione does no good. It does not work. Is the bottle correct? Was the manufacturing process correct? Was it handled correctly? Did they purge the bottle with argon gas? Or nitrogen? What all have they done to assure that glutathione never touches air? Is the water right with it? Everything else. Matter of fact, if they do any of that now, it violates our patent and our process. Bottles say reduced, but 99% are not. There's only one that isn't. Reasons: incorrect process, bad bottles, false advertisement, bad science. Yeah, pretty much. Products must be validated. Only 2 are, and one took 3 to 6 months, like I said, and they kind of barely validated. Not very effective as a medical supplement. Must be absorbable, and that's proven in our patent and validation studies. Must stay reduced during the processing and in the bottle. No other is. How can a capsule of glutathione stay reduced? It can't. It's exposed to air. It'll go through the capsule. It's exposed in the manufacturing process. Everything else is just garbage. It's just glutathione that you digest. And it must be stable so it can be used anywhere at any time. So you can carry a bottle with you on a plane trip. You can carry a bottle with you if you're out camping or whatever. A valid US patent must support all this. Because if it's that earth-shaking, if it's that great, they'd have a patent on it. And they just don't. The patents that have been awarded in the past have been horrible, and we've disproven all of them. The only process of producing reduced glutathione has now been patent awarded to us. And I believe actually that door is shut. Validated, absorbable, reduced, stable glutathione should be incredible and amazing. And it should be 1 million times more potent than vitamin C. That's a stoichiometric measurement, and that's what we learned at USC. Should be super antiviral, HIV, EBV, etc., according to the NIH. Those are studies they've done. Should be seeking FDA approvals with the medical version. We are. Should help liver function dramatically. That's the NIH again, and it does do that. Should be massively anti-inflammatory. Again, the NIH. Should cause mental clarity by detox of brain tissue. Again, the NIH is probably the number one thing we see when people use our glutathione supplement. Should help a huge number of medical issues according to articles written by the NIH, universities, etc. Believe. You need to believe and understand that the age of super antioxidants is indeed here. Validated, absorbable, reduced, stable, VARS glutathione. How do you take it? Take 500 plus milligrams per day of the absorbable reduced glutathione. You can do it sublingually, orally. Transdermal or transmucosal are the only options, as it will digest otherwise. Keep refrigerated no matter what the bottle says. Will taste like sulfur some, no way around it. Why? Well, even a tiny portion of it will oxidize, that gives it the sulfur taste. If viral or other infections, take more. Why not? Studies have shown that, like vitamin C, it's extremely antiviral. Using ApoE4, GST01, APP, PCN1, PCN2, DHA krill oil. Yeah, kind of an antioxidant. Fish oil contains both DHA and EPA, but DHA is the main one. But it cannot be regular DHA. Studies have shown to prevent dementia, it must be phospholipid-based DHA. Phospholipid DHA is only in fish roe, 75%, or krill oil, 35%. So you can eat caviar raw every day, or use a very, very high quality of concentrated krill oil. Intake must be at least 600 milligrams per day of phospholipid DHA, which is critical. And must be at least 2 milligrams of astaxanthin a day, which is critical. This is not cheap. There are only 3 on the market that fit these requirements. They're all quite expensive. One of them is ours. And ours is by far the superior and outmeasures the others, as you can tell by looking at the back of our bottle and looking at the back of their bottles. Using ApoE4 and APP. Like glutathione or like a good krill oil, heat protect, heat attack, but most importantly, heat a frog for a snack. I love that when he ate that frog. And he's protecting the Mandalorian. Me avoiding my bank account after buying krill oil. Yep. It's not cheap to buy krill oil. The right krill oil is expensive. CERT1. CERT1 is the most extensively studied and well-characterized anti-dementia substance on the planet. As mentioned above, CERT1 is an NAD+ dependent deacetylase that removes the acetyl group from protein substrates to add to the ADP ribose, a product from the cleavage of NAD+. If any of that makes sense. Resveratrol treatment is also able to protect the brain from a following cerebral ischemic attack. Resveratrol can offset the ischemia that occurs with a CERT1 error. Resveratrol is a specific and potent activator of subcellular target histone deacetylase CERT1 in different human tissues, including human tumors. So resveratrol activates CERT1. Binding of resveratrol to CERT1 promotes a conformational change that better accommodates the attached coumarin group. CERT1 activators, TRANS-RESVERATROL. CERT1 enzymatic activity depends upon NAD+ levels. It gives neuroprotection against cerebral ischemia. The silent inflammation regulators, SIR genes, produce longevity in diverse species such as reduced incidence of cancer, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. CERT1 turns this on and overactivates SIR. Of all the natural CERT1 activators discovered to date, resveratrol is still the most potent. Isn't it interesting? Resveratrol is really 3,5,4' trihydroxystilbene. And so when they're pushing stilbene on you, it's really resveratrol. Resveratrol, the most potent of the natural activators, enhance CERT1 mediated deacetylation by 8-fold according to a biochemical assay. So you should use the TRANS-RESVERATROL and ApoE4, APP, PCN1, and PCN2 genetic errors. TRANS-RESVERATROL. The recommended amount of TRANS-RESVERATROL is 2 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. This dose is justified from extrapolations from animal models and animal experiments. 90 times, so 90 kilogram, the average weight of a male, 90 times 2 milligrams per kilogram equals 180 milligrams per day, average dose. So say 200 milligrams per day to play it safe. So take at least 200 milligrams of TRANS-RESVERATROL every day. You want to use this in ApoE4, APP, PCN1, and PCN2. Best CERT1 activator, oddly enough, there's another one, a NAD plus garlic plus glutathione. I do this also. NAD is a substrate activator of CERT1, a key player of mitochondrial biogenesis. NAD plus boosts the activity of sirtuin-1 and other sirtuins. Garlic apparently acts as or causes itself to become a sodium hydrogen sulfide donor, especially around GSH. Releasing sodium hydrogen sulfide then causes nicotinamide mononucleotide to form CERT1. That's why you give all this together. Nicotinamide mononucleotide goes to NAD+, goes to CERT1 activator. Sirtuin gets activated. Blood vessels, brain function improves. NAD+ is now known to be in a constant state of synthesis, degradation, and recycling, so take daily. It's just like glutathione. Point of attack, NAD plus garlic plus glutathione combo. Use an ApoE4, APP, PCN1, and PCN2. I take this combo too. You'll have to put it together yourself off Amazon if you want to do it. And I just use capsules of glutathione. Yeah, they don't work, but in the face, when you're taking it in your gut, it's all in there working. It kind of helps it work. Plus, you've taken the glutathione, the virus glutathione that I too. I take both SIRT1 activators. If you have the genetic risk ApoE4, why not? If you have the wherewithal money, why not? BioPQQ plus nano-ubiquinol. Must be the validated version. 30 FDA validated studies support it. It works. It's got to be BioPQQ from Mitsubishi. 20 milligrams of the bio or nano PQQ has a much better therapy curve. And again, we've been through all this. Biogenesis, all that it does. And using APP and ApoE4 or any other dementia for that matter seems to help with all of them. Helps the BioPQQ and ubiquinol all forms of dementia. Lithium orotate's awesome. Doses lithium orotate. I like the lithium synergy from Designs for Health. We'll have a link to it. Using ApoE4 and APP. These are all my cheat sheets, by the way. Quercetin, the most common dose is 500 milligrams. In the combination, we did 200 because that was more than enough. And you can also take it with vitamin C, which helps absorb quercetin, using ApoE4 and APP. Vitamin C and vitamin E. This is where it gets a little detailed. Helps both sexes with absorption of quercetin. Helps more in women with ApoE4. Minimum vitamin C dosage is 500 milligrams a day. Higher blood vitamin C levels are associated with reduction of Apolipoprotein E4 related risk of cognitive decline in women. That's a Nakajima study in Japan. It's really well done. And vitamin E helps prevent dementia in men without ApoE4. Again, the Nakajima study. Men should take both. Women with ApoE4 should take vitamin C. So on these supplements, do or do not. There is no try. And as the child says, boomer, okay. So this is my Alzheimer's supplements cheat sheet number 1. There's 2 of these. This one talks about all the supplements, and I gave little anonyms for them. BPQQU, PDKO, TR is TRANS-RESVERATROL, Q is quercetin, stuff like that. GL use glutathione. And here's the major one you want to look at, the Alzheimer's supplement cheat sheet number 2. Take a picture of this one also. If you didn't take a picture of the first one, we go back to it. Boom. And then there's this one. So take a screenshot of this. This is if your genetic comes back showing you have ApoE4 and you're a man, or men without ApoE4 but a family history of dementia. Women with ApoE4, remember they should also take vitamin C. That should be helpful. Which one is for you? You got to figure that out through the genetic testing. You know what's not on this list? It's interesting. Do you know what's not on this list? Prevagen. Sorry, it didn't make the list. I couldn't find where you plug it into the dementia world that we live in, the medical world. So anyway, it's not on here. So thank you all for watching. Message me here on Facebook if you have questions, Dan Purser MD. I'll answer all questions. I'll try to at least and show you more, including testing options. The genetic dementia testing, these unique validated supplements can all be found on danpursermd.com. I really mean it. Thank you for watching. And this is what I'm going to go do next. He protect, he attack. He also takes a nap. Oh, I'm going to go take a nap. So tired of working on this, and now it's out there. And I know some of it's kind of rough. Thank you very much, and God bless. This is Dr. Dan Purser, danpursermd.com.